SPO of Troop 24, and I have a sermon here called The Inspiration of Nature. Everywhere we go in life, from the largest cities to the widest plains, the deepest caves, and maybe even to the moon, we can find nature. Every day we pass plants, animals, microscopic organisms, sunlight, and we may find ourselves taking it for granted. But even if we did not notice its presence, nature has affected us in so many ways, such as in art and in the design of homes. Nature has been omnipresent throughout our entire lives and will continue to do so. Now, where does nature make its home? Of course, we can all look out the window and see the forest, or go home and look at our lawns. It can live in the trees planted on Broadway, the vines growing on the sides of buildings, and it makes very distinctive marks on our society today. But nature lives elsewhere too, in the plants growing in our front rooms, and also the bugs living inside our walls. It lives in messy teenagers' rooms, and also in our basements. But the most beautiful nature you can find, in its most pure, pristine form, is out in the great forests in the Adirondacks along the Appalachian Trail, where thriving communities of animals, plants, and insects live in harmony, where lakes untouched by any human life lie smooth, with still waters quiet as the morning sun rises over the mountains, giving light to all the creatures that live within. To witness a sight such as this is just breathtaking, and it is amazing to think of such a common occurrence as one of the most beautiful things that happens in our daily lives. Now, there are many ways that we can interact with nature we find every day. We can water our plants or mow our lawns. We could also just take a walk in the forest, just a stroll to admire the nature and its beauty. Similar to that is also hiking. It is a common amongst the Scouts that we have monthly hiking trips. On these trips, we are always fascinated by nature, by finding animal tracks on the trail or seeing deer standing and watching us in the distance. Sometimes we'll be walking and a grouse will pop up a few feet away and scare all of us. Still, hiking is an amazing way to interact with nature. It is the best way to get deep into wilderness to experience the pure, pristine form of nature. Hanging hammocks in trees or sitting up in the lean-to and waiting for night to fall is a time you can see nature around you, filled with sunlight. But when the sun sets, you can't see nature. You can hear it though, and all the sounds of crickets and owls or bats flapping their wings through the air. Because of this constant presence of nature, we can't help but have it inspire us. We find it in art, as I mentioned earlier, but we also find nature in movies, and we find it in games. We find nature in almost everything that is made, like the wood that made your house or the pavement on your driveway. Nature also has driven us to make sustainability homes and cars so that we can help it flourish despite our large demands on its ecosystem. It drives a Scout to be reverent when he is outdoors, looking at all that has been created. It encourages us to look into science, to see the smaller details and parts of life we have never been able to see before. Nature also encourages us to slow down and think about our life, recent events, and it teaches us to be calmer, more serene in our actions. Think of all the times nature has influenced you. How many times you have referenced it in your life. Think of why nature is so important to you, and remember that it has always been with you for your entire life. And always remember that a Scout is reverent towards nature and towards God, and is faithful in his religious duties. Thank you.